Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, June 28th, coming to you live from Seoul. I'm Kim Mo-Gyan. Before we begin, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. South Korea reports 501 new COVID-19 cases Monday, inching down due to fewer tests over the weekend. Meanwhile, efforts to ramp up vaccinations continue, with authorities now accepting COVID-19 reservations for some 110,000 eligible people who were unable to get a shot before. A mutated version of the Delta variant, known as Delta Plus, has now been reported in 11 countries. Along with the original Delta variant, a number of countries are seeing surges in new cases. And the collapse of the 12-story condo in South Florida has killed at least 9 people as of Sunday. Search and rescue efforts continue in the hope of finding survivors among the 152 people still unaccounted for. South Korea reported 501 new COVID-19 cases Monday, falling below 600 for the first time in nearly a week, and possibly due to fewer tests over the weekend. Of Monday's cases, all but 29 were locally transmitted. 2 more people have died, bringing the death toll to 2,015. As for vaccinations, more than 4.6 million people in the country have been fully vaccinated. South Korea is now accepting COVID-19 vaccine reservations for some 110,000 eligible people who were not able to get a shot before. Now, they include healthcare providers under 30, essential social workers, and teachers of children under the age of 9. Bookings can be made until June 30th. The group includes people who were either omitted from the list before or were not able to make their reservation earlier. First doses will be administered from July 5th, with the second beginning later that month. A mutated version of the Delta variant, known as Delta Plus, has now been reported in 11 countries. Combined with a spike in the original Delta variant, a number of countries are seeing surges of new COVID-19 cases, prompting authorities to reimpose restrictions. Lee Seung-jae has this report.
Still struggling to tackle the highly contagious Delta variant, 11 countries have now reported cases of the Delta Plus variant, including the UK, the United States, and India. Health experts are investigating whether Delta Plus is more transmissible than other strains, but they say it's too early to know at the current time. However, studies show the mutation may contribute to immune escape, meaning there may be more resistance to antibodies formed through vaccines or previous infections. The Delta Plus variant, first detected in India, has been reported in at least 51 cases in 12 states in India. 4 deaths have also been reported in India due to the Delta Plus variant after registering the first related death on Saturday. However, experts say there's no clear evidence yet to show that Delta Plus is significantly more dangerous than Delta. The Delta variant also continues to ravage Moscow. The Russian capital has reported its worst daily COVID-19 death toll since the pandemic began, with 144 deaths over the past 24 hours alone. With just 14% of its adult population having received at least 1 vaccine dose, experts cite the slow vaccination drive as well as the Delta variant as the main causes driving the city's 3rd wave. In response to the spread of the Delta variant, travel restrictions are going into effect around the world, including Germany, which is imposing a flight ban for travelers from Portugal and Russia from Tuesday. Travelers from those countries will also be banned from entering by rail, bus, or ship. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
It's been 4 days since the collapse of the 12-story condo in South Florida, and as of Sunday, 9 people have been confirmed dead, while search and rescue efforts continue in the hope of finding survivors among the 152 people still unaccounted for. Our Kim Yeon-sung reports.
The death toll has risen to 9 after the devastating collapse of a residential building in South Florida. Intensive search efforts continued Sunday as rescue teams sift through the rubble for survivors. Rescuers pulled 4 bodies from the rubble on the same day, but 152 people are still unaccounted for. Rescue efforts had been hampered as the building unexpectedly caught fire on Saturday.
we're facing very incredible difficulties with this fire. The fire has been going on for a while. It's a very deep fire. It's extremely difficult to locate the source of the fire.
The building remains in an unstable condition, slowing down the process.
The debris fields, scattered throughout, and it's compacted, extremely compacted. So it's a very slow process where we have to we have to stabilize the best we can as we're moving through the area.
3 days have passed since the 12-story condominium building in Surfside, Florida crashed to the ground, trapping some of its residents inside.
And so we rushed over and got here around 2:30 a.m. And when we saw the scene, it was so hard to process because it was like something you're supposed to see in a movie, but you're never supposed to see in reality.
Families and friends of victims are still in mourning, while those of the missing residents are sick with worry. Local officials have allowed them to be near the wreckage as they grieve and pray. The mayor of Surfside, Florida, Charles Burkett, has promised that rescue efforts will not stop until everybody is found. At the request of U.S. President Joe Biden, FEMA Chief Deanne Criswell visited the site on Sunday to offer federal support for the recovery effort. Kim Hyun-sung, Arirang News.
Iran says it will not deliver records of its nuclear activities to the International Atomic Energy Agency anymore, saying its temporary agreement with the agency has expired. The move is expected to further complicate talks between Iran and 6 major powers on reviving their 2015 nuclear deal. Our Kim Hyo-san reports.
Refusing to hand over images from its nuclear sites to the UN nuclear watchdog, Iran says its monitoring agreement with the IAEA has expired. Iranian state media reports that the country's parliamentary speaker made the announcement Sunday, insisting that no further data or images will be given over. The speaker added the decision is in accordance with Iran's strategic action plan to counter sanctions law, which the country's parliament passed late last year. Among other measures, the law stipulates that the Iranian executive branch stop implementing the additional protocol to the Non-Proliferation Treaty if U.S. sanctions are not lifted. The move is expected to further complicate talks between Iran and 6 major powers on reviving their 2015 nuclear deal. Israel's new foreign minister expressed his concerns over the push to reinstate the deal during a meeting with its American counterpart.
Israel has some serious reservations about the Iran nuclear deal that is being put together in Vienna. We believe the way to discuss those disagreements is through direct and professional conversation, not in press conferences.
However, the two vowed a more cooperative approach on the issue going forward. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken also underscored that despite their occasional differences, the U.S. and Israel have the same objectives in the region. Kim Hyun-san, Arirang News.
Let's look ahead at some economic news to come this week, both here and abroad. South Korea is set to release data on its export and import figures as well as consumer prices for June. And the U.S. is to publish its unemployment data. Seo Eun-kyung has more.
The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy would release export and import figures for June on Thursday. Preliminary data from the Korea Customs Service show that trade volume in the first 20 days of June surged compared to the same period last year. Exports increased by almost 30%, and average daily exports were up over 33%, showing continuing recovery in outbound shipments. Compared to the same period last year, exports of automobiles, petroleum products, and semiconductors largely contributed to the increase. Imports were up by almost 29%. Crude oil, petroleum products, and automobiles were the major contributors to the rise. Statistics Korea on Friday is set to release the Consumer Price Index for June. Consumer prices in May recorded their biggest on-year increase in 9 years. They came largely on the back of a rise in oil prices, which were up by more than 23%, the biggest jump in almost 13 years. This led to an increase in the price of petroleum products. The agency attributed the jump to low base effects from poor oil demand due to coronavirus-led recessions. Since the consumer price index is one of the major barometers of inflation, all eyes are on whether the figure would continue to rise in June. On the same day, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics will release its unemployment rate for June. The national rate stood at 5.8% in May, declining 0.3% from a month before. The figure was down considerably from its high of near 15% in April last year. However, the rate remains above the pre-COVID-19 pandemic level, which was 3.5% in February 2020. Since the U.S. has been showing strong signs of economic recovery, the unemployment rate is likely expected to decline in June. The figure has been on a continuous decline since reaching a record high in April last year. 서은경, Arirang News.
South Korea is one of the global leaders in the field of self-driving car technology. Now it's testing a car that doesn't even have a driver's seat. After ongoing numerous tests, they're expected to hit the road by 2027. Kim Chang-ha has more.
With just the tap of a finger, a shuttle bus parked at a different building drives itself towards the caller. This shuttle bus does not have a driver's seat and comfortably fits 4 passengers. Although the maximum speed is currently limited to 25 kilometers per hour, the vehicle can decide by itself when to change lanes and automatically stops when someone crosses the street. If the car ahead abruptly stops, the shuttle bus also stops and can even swerve around the car ahead with a simple order from the passenger. Currently, the vehicle is at the start of the 4th level of vehicle autonomy, meaning it shows high driving automation and can judge situations by itself without a driver. The vehicle will drive itself 10 times every day around the complex and learn how to deal with unexpected situations. The research team expects to complete its automation technology by 2027.
This is a vehicle with automation AI software that can respond to or avoid unexpected or dangerous situations.
The shuttle also showcases high-speed technology and displays developed by the institute. On this transparent OLED display, passengers can enjoy high-quality information and videos with VR and AR experiences. A world where we can leave the driving up to the vehicle and just enjoy the journey could be coming very soon. Kim Chang-ha, Arirang News.
The two Koreas technically still remain at war, as the 1950 to 1953 Korean War only ended with an armistice agreement. And to show how tensions can be blurred through art, the world's second art hotel is ready to open near the Demilitarized Zone. Kim Bo-kyung reports.
Right on Myeongpa Beach, just 10 kilometers from the Demilitarized Zone that separates the two Koreas, is Remaker, a hotel that doubles as an art gallery. It is the world's second art hotel in the border region, following British artist Banksy's walled-off hotel in the Palestinian West Bank. A total of 8 rooms each have their own concept, and the artist's interpretation of the two Koreas' separated reality.
The room's designer Omyo-cho named it Weird Tension. While she was working on the room, she constantly felt discomfort from the fact that it was too peaceful, even though the two Koreas are still at war. Through many elements, including a wire fence drawn on a mirror, she gives a stark reminder of inter-Korean division.
The artist made all the objects in the room difficult to use, from a TV attached to the ceiling to a bathroom door with 12 doorknobs, to alert the guests to the tense reality we're in. Another room uses metal, the foundation of civilization, but also a material used to make weapons.
We couldn't overlook its function as an accommodation site, so we put much thought into it when placing furniture and items all thoroughly calculated. It was tough to have art and daily life fused together, but fortunately, the outcome is extraordinary.
Built as part of the Culture Ministry's project to transform the border area's tense image to one of peace and art, the organizers hope it can become a major tourist spot.
Tourism in Gosong County has declined after the overland tours to the DMZ and Kumgangsan Mountain stopped. We would like to welcome more tourists with the Art Hotel Remaker as centerpiece.
We hope at least 1/10 of the people who come here think about how conflict could be turned into harmony and how the boundary could wane, and we hope those thoughts could be the basis of action.
The hotel will officially open in July, and those who visit might also want to take a look at the nearby Unification Observatory and DMZ Museum. Kim Bo-kyung, Arirang News, Gosong.
A growing number of people in their 30s or even younger want to start their new lives in the countryside. A significant portion of those in the age group hope to make that transition. Our Min Soo-kyun zooms in on how they want to change the perception of farming and inspire others.
Here in Chungcheongbuk-do Province, young farmers are leading the future of farming. They're inspiring others who wish to settle down in the country.
35-year-old Lee Ji-yeon moved with her husband to Gwaesan County in 2017. She holds a master's degree from Seoul National University and had been working at a research institute in Seoul. Her husband had been working as a landscape designer for 13 years. The two had a stable life, but it wasn't the life they dreamed of.
When we got married, we didn't have time to have dinner together. One of us would always have to work till late, and even if we didn't have overtime work, we would be tired by the end of the day. This made us think about our future and the kind of life we really wanted to live.
When they became mushroom growers, many friends questioned their decision.
They said I was overqualified for the job, but that's not true. The work farmers do is meaningful and requires special skills. I don't see why people underestimate their work.
With 4 other farmers, Lee Ji-yeon and her husband decided to promote the benefits of farming. They've opened a cafe for people to enjoy desserts made from freshly harvested crops, and they're now also running an 8-week course to give young aspiring farmers a hands-on experience.
I'm learning a lot about a wide variety of crops and getting practical knowledge about organic and sustainable farming. I feel like I'm getting to know more about it, so I'm really excited.
Many more young adults in South Korea are leaving their 9-to-6 jobs to farm. According to data released by Statistics Korea on Thursday, the number of farming households totaled 12,489 in 2020. Of them, the number of households headed by farmers under the age of 40 rose to 1,362, up 153 from a year earlier.
When the movie Little Forest was out, people were like, you can't live like that, that's just a movie. But in fact, you can. You can live that life only if you have a comprehensive plan to get started in farming.
The couple say they haven't regretted their decision to become farmers, not even for a single day. Min Soo-kyun, Arirang News.
Welcome. It's time for The World Now, bringing you some of the most interesting news from around the globe. I'm Ji-yeong. The world's second largest dam has been completed and is ready to begin operations. The mega hydropower station, the Baihetan Dam, located in southwest China's Sichuan province, is expected to start running on July 1st. The plant aims to help China cut its carbon dioxide emissions before 2030 and reach carbon neutrality by 2060.
As clean energy, the hydropower generated at the Baihetan station will reduce the annual consumption of standard coal by 19.68 million tonnes, while reducing the emissions of carbon dioxide by 51.6 million tonnes.
The dam, which is second only to China's Three Gorges Dam in Hubei province, is designed to generate more than 62 billion kilowatt hours of electricity a year. Authorities say the application of smart water technology will allow for the saving and recycling of water at the site. For the first time ever, the Colosseum in Rome has opened its underground passages to the public. After 2.5 years of restoration, Italy's culture minister officially announced the opening of ancient arena's backstage.
At one time, the amphitheater was filled with spectators excited to see gladiators and animals. However, access to the corridors below stage level was forbidden to the public from 80 AD when it was inaugurated, with the ban lasting until the final performance there in 523. Tourists will now be able to venture down a walkway 160 meters long to view what used to be the backstage. You wouldn't expect to see ice in the middle of a desert, but you might spot some people taking ice baths among the orange dunes near Sharjah in the UAE. Some participants say it was a bit scary because they couldn't control their breathing at first, but as they adjusted to the cold, they found it rejuvenating.
The beginning is always hard to adjust, and then once you release, and you realize that your mind is more powerful than your body, and your mind controls your body, and you have to make your body obey your mind, and that's the secret.
The organizer of the ice baths and breathing sessions said he does this to take people out of their comfort zone and give them the experience of reconnecting with nature.
Good morning. We're looking at another day with sudden showers, and as we have been experiencing, this type of showers and storms can pack a punch, so please be careful. It's going to be wetter today with 10 to 60 millimeters forecast for inland regions. Jeju will see 5 to 20 millimeters today. Temperatures will continue to be on the warm side across the country, but the East Coast will have cooler highs along with easterly winds, and there could be some strong sunlight coming through the clouds during the day. Afternoon readings will be in the high 20s across Korea, and Gwangju and Daejeon will be hotter, topping out at 30 degrees Celsius. Air quality will be normal to good in most parts, apart from Jeollabuk-do province, which could see bad dust levels this morning. There are more chances of sudden flashes of rain through the middle of the week for inland regions, while temperatures will be touching 30 degrees Celsius this week. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the weather conditions around the world.
And that will do it for us at this hour on Arirang News. We'll be back at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye.